So this is to show you the processes that we use at Weeded Lawn Service. Right now it's mostly on Excel. This is our new client intake form. This is what we do when someone's calling. So I would choose my name. I'd enter the new client's name. We always use the prefix, the Mr. Doctor comes at the end, because that's how we naturally ask it. Enter the address. Enter the zip code. We enter the zip code. It tells us the Zillow estimate. We have an API for that, API key. It shows a map. This is the boundaries of where we work, and this is where this target is. The address just got deleted. We enter the phone number, what type of phone it is. Enter the email. How they heard about us. Whenever we press something, like for example, if we push referral, it'll ask another question: who referred this caller? Okay. We record that, and it gets recorded in our promotion tracking. A list of services. What services are you looking for? I'm looking for this, and I'm looking for that. Okay, we just go through with them. And then a blank template for any other services they're looking for. We ask this: when are generally good times to meet with you? Are you available during the day? This is information we want to collect. For example, work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Or tired, can meet anytime. If we were to click on this right here, it would compare the current caller's address with all of our future appointments and tell us which ones are closest. Any sales notes, such as something they might tell us in a phone call, is just for our notes when we go visit them. An appointment date. We're going to meet this person on 2/18 at 4:15 p.m. Length of time for the appointment. Well, we're going to make this a quick one, 30 minutes. Okay. We would then save the information, which I'm not going to do because things aren't linked, but click, I save the information. I make a calendar appointment. You see this pops up right now, an Outlook calendar appointment, which I would send to the two people that need it. Has all their information in it for the appointment, the notes that we wrote down. Click, send, pretend. We then would print off 2 letters. The letters look like this. Thank you for calling. This will go out today. And the second letter. Thank you for giving us a chance to quote you. It'll go out tomorrow, but we print out 2 letters. We also email them after we do the letters. We will email them an appointment reminder. One that goes out right now. Confirming the appointment and their address. And then one that will go out at 8 o'clock. One will go out at 8 o'clock the night before the appointment. And that's it. If they're a current client, they're already in our system, we might look for them to set a new appointment. So let's say we've been taking care of Mr. Jones for many years. He calls up, he says, hey, I'd like someone to come out and give me a quote on something. We would use this form to set up a new appointment. If they're looking for leaf cleanup, we put them on our leaf list. This is a list of all the people that have asked for leaf cleanup. That's a special service in VIA that we do a little bit differently for some clients. You see we have our promotion tracking. I told you about that. Or that. There we go. Okay. So now they're in our system. Okay. So now our salesperson would go out, meet them. We're going to meet Mr. Bender, let's say. So he's at Mr. Bender's house. Ignore all my notes here. Type in Bender, get me close. And if this link wasn't broken, you'd have a list of all of our clients here by name of Bender. This is my system for making a quote. Just drag it in the window. So this person wants, here's all the different services. A one-time bed weeding, a one-time hedging and pruning, our regular mowing visits, and there's 3 different seasons, short, medium, and long. Our bed weeding, these are all my abbreviations. Aeration, overseeding, mulching. So let's say they're just looking for a mulching service. Okay. Here we go, mulching. Click that, and when we click that, you see it filled in. We build our quotes in 2 ways. With our items that we need for labor. Here's all our labor items. So this is like the recipe. Trenching of the beds to create defined borders of grass. 3.5 hours, that's the default. Installation of dyed brown double shred mulch and maintain beds. Any mulch notes, for example, front yard only likes it 3 inches thick. Okay. And this is how the quote is built. Down here, these are our materials. So this part up here is our labor items. So this is like the recipe of how we do it. And here's the materials, subs, dumping, and other hard costs that we might need. What it is, the quantity, the cost each, what the tax on it is, if any. The total line costs, our markup. And here, if we want the client to see these things on the quote, for example, we don't need to show him all these items here, the pickup mulch and the mulch time, but we want him to see that we're going to do that. We want him to see that we're going to do that. We want him to see that we're going to do that and that. The notes about the job. Okay. Here's our labor rate, which this comes from up here. So if we want to change our labor rate for this, it changes it for all of them. Our markup, same thing. Sales tax, same thing. If we want to get a measurement on the lot, we can click on this, and it'll take us to a website where we can then click, measure the lot. Zones of irrigation, I do not need. I do not need that. Short description of work. This is where we just type in. Okay, this is what the client might see in their notes later when we email them. David is giving them the quote. That's me. And notification sheet name. Right now, because we use Excel, we have to give a name to a tab later. We're going to do Bender TRMU. Just something unique. Is Miss Utility required? Yes, which it defaults to that whenever we're doing bed trenching. Is a fixed price or time materials? This is a fixed price. So now we've entered all this information. Okay, we're going to go to the quote, which is just right here, another tab. And you see it makes this very beautiful, elegant quote sheet. Trenching of beds to create defined border of grass. That's what we typed right here. It was actually defaulted when we pushed the button. Installation of dyed brown mulch. I don't need to show the each price, so I'm going to hide the unit prices. Oh, and this is also one project, not a 12-month item. It should have defaulted to that. Oh, but I forgot to pick how many yards of mulch I need. So we click the mulching button, but then we need the mulch numbers. And this job needs 8 yards of mulch, and the mulching here will be hard. So we charge a little bit more. So now we go to our quote. There's a quote, the date, the account number, all the information, our information, the client's information, the services, the price, then the sign. There's all of our little legal terms and conditions. You see it looks quite nice when we print it out for the client to sign. So now then they have it. Now let's say they sign it and they send it to the office for us to do the work. Well, over here we have the work order. So this is what the field guys get. So the crew will get this. It's all the information about the client, who made the quote, how many hours it should take, missed utilities required, tells the office that. Again, more information about the client. Here's the labor items, so what they should do. Here's the materials, subs, dumping, and rental, the things they need to buy. At the end, the crew fills out on the paper how long it took them, when they were there. And there's an office copy. At the end, it tells us what the total price was for materials cost us, what the markup in materials was, what the materials should have cost us, how much we would have made on the job after materials. But it creates this work order for the crew. So just to review, we have our new client intake form, which puts the data into a list, a database. Then we go out to the yard and we use the project quoter, which we call blank project quoter. This creates the this creates the quote, and it creates a work order. Okay. So now we have that. So they've said yes. Okay, so we have a work order, but we need to schedule it. So what we do, we have a button that then puts that work order into our client notification system. Okay. So here, the way we do it now, every client gets their own tab. So Mr. Gilliard, Charlotte Gilliard, Mrs., with their email, address, quick description that we typed in before, how much that job is for, estimated date range, and the newest note. We have ordered your materials. When we type that in, we hit email update, it sends in an update that looks like this. Dear Charlotte, here's the status of your project, your anticipated work date, all that. We send them an email with that information. I have a summary of all the people who have sheets, and it lights up. It warns us when we haven't contacted them in a week. All these people go on a calendar, and this is kind of a lot to look at here, but if I can just break it down simply. Here's 1 week, for example. Okay. In this week, we have Sean's truck and what he's doing. Marion's truck, what he's doing. And if you look, for example, on this day, he's doing these 3 jobs. Here's the value of the 3 jobs. Here's a total for that day. The total for the day creates a total for the week. The total for the week of each person creates a total for the week of all the jobs, which then creates a total amount that we are going to make or bill in the month, hopefully. And then after we send them updates, we have you on the schedule in 2 weeks. And next week, we have you on the schedule for next week, end of the week. We've got you on the schedule for 2 days from now. And then when the job is completed, that work order will go into our folder to be billed. And then we'll send a survey out to the client. So this is most of what we're using Excel for right now to run our operations. If they're a regular client that's going to get regular services, they go on this very big chart, which each line is a customer, and each column is a different thing. Either here we have all the services that this customer signed up for. Over here we have the value. That's too big. The value of our customers. I'm going to run out of time here, but this is all of our major ongoing work that then needs to be scheduled for the crews.